Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Taurus season. Welcome to this month's collective tarot forecast. If this is your first time watching, I'm Natalie. I do this every month, aligned with the new sun season. So we've just moved into Taurus season, so I'm here to pull 4 cards for the collective to help us navigate this new sun season. Hello to those who have joined. I'm just getting my deck warmed up here. I will be doing a bit more shuffling before we get started. Hello Kat, it's good to have you here. Hi Heather. Hi Lisa. So I'm going to be pulling 4 cards for our emotional selves, our mental selves, our physical selves, and our spiritual selves. This is going to be high guidance, high wisdom. I've asked for all of our special spirit team to join us here to use me as a conduit to send some messages to help us make the most of this beautiful Taurus energy this month. Before I get into the card reading, can you guys hear me okay? Is my connection all right? I've got my fancy new rainbow lights, which I'm pretty excited about, set up in here. Tell me all, how has eclipse season been treating you? We're getting close now to our lunar eclipse in Scorpio on, what date is that? The 5th, I think? Yeah, the 5th. Oh, good, excellent. It's been such a big and powerful eclipse season for me. I've really been leaning into the magic of those energies to make some transformation in my life, especially closing out this like nodal transit through Scorpio in the south and Taurus in the north. It's been a long journey. It's been an interesting journey. And so it's nice to kind of do some reflection and, you know, see how we've traversed this nodal energy for the past like 1.5 years. We've also had some really intense solar activity, I think, in the past month or so since we last spoke. So I feel like everything's really supercharged. The field has been incredibly activating and we've been activated on so many levels. The more light that shines into our collective field, the more we get to see, the more truth we get to see and uncover and unravel, which is really cool on a personal level and a collective level as well. Heather, I feel like it's been one of clearing out and figuring out what is truly important for this lifetime. Oh, I hear you. I think that's like a really important like aspect of this past eclipse, because it was the second eclipse we had in Aries and it was very late, just as it was about to move into Taurus. And like that is exactly the energy of moving from that first initiating sign of the wheel into Taurus, where we've just entered recently. That moving from this is who I am, this is what I do, you know, this is what I want to activate, and then moving into, well, how do I do it? What are my values? What do I stand for? How am I going to create this me in this world? How am I going to form the world around me? And letting all the other junk fall away. Yeah, I've heard a lot of other teachers recently talking about how this time, this energy is really yeah, it's really cleansing a lot of the pretenses and bullshit and kind of the stuff that's not important in the way we craft our identities, letting that all fall away so we can just like really be ourselves, which I think is beautiful and freeing. And I'm trying to lean into that energy myself. Kat says, the solar eclipse was pretty rough on me, both internally and externally, even though lots of great things happened in between. Feeling a lot more peace now, though. That's really good. As long as those experiences are coming in waves and it's not normal, like it's not the sustained reality, things are working as they should be. Okay. I don't want to wait too long before we get into the card reading, because I know lots of people join us on the replay and are probably quite impatient. So if you are joining on the replay, welcome here. Your energy is felt. You are part of this collective field that of beautiful souls and our co-created reality that I'm like reading into, absorbing, pulling through. I want to do a little bit of reflection on the energy of Taurus, because I feel like Taurus is such a beautiful energy, a beautiful sign, because it's so connected with Earth. So Taurus, the ruler of Taurus is Venus, and it's almost like we are of Venus. Maybe the Venusian energy is what kind of helped to create us here, but I feel a really deep connection between our Earth and Venus energy. And it's like, you know, there's so much symbolism that exists in our realm here. The pentagram, for instance, or the pentagon, represents humanity, represents man, that 5-pointed star, and that's the orbit of Venus. There's lots of like correspondences here. Obviously in the tarot we work with that symbol of Venus in the Pentacles card, which is also very connected to Taurus. So I really like working with the Taurus energy. Hi Michelle. Michelle did my hair this week and I feel like I'm a new woman. Thank you so much. I was very shabby when I walked into her salon this week. So yeah, let's talk about this beautiful lush beauty. It's not a coincidence I got my hair done, because that's also something Taurus is all about. It's about beauty, it's about sensory pleasure, it's about this 3D experience, and how incredible it is, like on so many levels, on all the sensory levels, what we see, what we feel, what we taste, what we touch. There's nothing really that can match it. And it's like this earth has been created as a special gift for us, as like this incredible school, but also a playground of feeling, and a playground of like rich, lush experience. And this is something I've been reflecting on so much recently, having gone on a bit of a journey away from all of the spirituality chatter that's hypergalactic and all the rest, is that it can make us be a bit eager to leave this place like it's some horrible prison, and it's not at all. It's this incredible, beautiful playground for us to explore and create in, and it's just wonderful. So this is the energy I'm anchoring for this month, and I invite you guys to do that too. Just reveling in, soaking up the lushness, the beauty, the sensuality of our natural world. Thank you for that question. Ask me, I'll get to that. After I do this little reflection, we'll talk a bit more about the eclipse, and then I'll read some cards. So for some of us, we feel a bit detached from the 3D reality as we go on this journey. We feel more and more kind of like heightened in our upper kind of clear senses and our upper chakras, our higher chakras, being sort of pulled out of our bodies and out of this like 3D kind of tangible reality. But we can talk about grounding, but if you're in that boat as I was, what we actually do is what we need to do is stop resisting and start surrendering. So I encourage you to think about surrender if you find it hard to ground, if you're not that way inclined. Surrender to the beauty of this planet, because it's incredible, and it's not a jail, it's not a prison. It's a wonderful place where we get to play and be creators. I always reflect on my cows. I have cows on my farm, so I get to learn a lot about this like cow and bull energy, and they are so deeply connected to the natural rhythms of this planet. It's wonderful to just watch how slow they can be, about how playful they can be, and how attuned they are to just the natural rhythms. So that's another thing to think about in that path of surrender. Surrendering to this incredible, beautiful experience is potentially slowing down, but it's not just about clearing the calendar. It's actually just allowing yourself to exist within the natural rhythms instead of trying to resist them and create your own kind of artificial rhythms that aren't as intelligent as the natural rhythms of the earth. It's also an opportunity to learn from the earth about her own intelligent structures. They are also very beautiful. Things like the telepathic kind of networks between plants and fungi and animals. I know my cows speak to each other telepathically. They also do try it with me. I'm not that good at it, but I've picked up on their transmissions before. So observance of this natural world, be an alchemist, observe to learn how things work. It's a really valuable thing. And when we slow down and surrender, it all becomes obvious. All right, one more thing, and this is leaning out of the previous eclipse, the solar eclipse, which was at the very 29th degree of Aries. I touched on it before, but we speak about one of the most important part of Taurus is our values. So our value system, what it is we value, this is on an individual level, but also a collective level. But I want to take it one step further and also talk about how we value ourselves. So it's not just about what we value and listing out what our values are. It's also how we value ourselves. So that's a really important thing, especially after all the incredible activation and hard work that we did in Aries season about re-establishing who we are, what our essence is, what our spirit is. Now let's talk about how do we value ourselves? How do we value what we have reignited within us? And how can we do that in a tangible way, I want to say. Bloody ads. Okay, so that's my little reflection on Taurus season energy. Let me know if you guys have any reflections on that or any comments or feelings. I'm just going to go up and see the comments here. Okay, so I've got some Scorpios in the house. I'm curious about how the upcoming full moon is going to affect Scorpios, because I heard it's going to be intense, and I'm a Scorpio sun and Taurus moon. Okay, so your nodal axis is activated by these eclipses that we're having at the moment. And as I mentioned a bit before, you might not have been in the room at that time, but these are the last eclipses of this nodal cycle. And while we're not talking about your node specifically, it's a very strong axis that's being activated for you. And I'm just looking at your question again. So I'm not an astrologer. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen to you. And I really encourage you to check out your chart if you haven't done this. Heather, I can see you're a Scorpio too. I heard the next 6 months for us is crazy powerful in a time of immense change. Yeah, so basically the eclipses that happen now are kind of get reactivated in 6 months is what I've heard as well. And so anything we're kind of working on now, and it doesn't necessarily have to be manifestation, because I know a lot of people warn us against doing manifesting during eclipse season. I have different opinions about that, but it all depends on where you're at energetically and like how experienced you are in working with these energies. But regardless of that, anything we're working on now, it's like this 6-month window. And this is our last chance with the Scorpio South Node. It's this incredible, I want to call it like a drain pipe. And I think I spoke about this like when we first entered this new nodal like axis, that the Scorpio South Node is like a drain pipe. And that's what's sort of being activated for the final time. It's like the last time we get to flush out everything we want to let go of, everything we want to purge, everything we are really, really ready to leave behind as we move, as the nodes shift, and they're going to move into Aries and Libra. So, and this is where we get to step into like North Node in Aries is like really activating us each individually, real powerful fire, like pushing us forward on our paths of destiny. So it's really important. And if you've got like strong placements with Scorpio, you've already got that Scorpio energy. It's something you can really work with. And I think it also means that if you don't take the opportunity to work with this energy and allow whatever wants to be released with this final eclipse, it might like haunt you a bit. Because Scorpio is one of those signs where if you don't do your shadow work, the shadows will just haunt you. You know what I mean? So I encourage you guys to actually really meditate on what it is you want to release. We do that in full moons anyway, kind of realizing the fullness of our experience and gearing up to clear space for what we want to then manifest that new seed for the new moon. And for the eclipse, that's especially important, this like cleansing, making space. But think about that karmic drain pipe, and this is like an activation of our like soul contract lessons, that it's time to level up, and we need to do that as we move into this next phase for the next 1.5 years. So that's what I'd invite you guys to do if you're wondering how to work with this energy for this next lunar eclipse. Martika says, yes, see you later, reactive behavior. I love it. Okay, so yeah, look, don't be scared of eclipses either. There's a really good way to be empowered and proactive, and I've learned this month. I shared this with Martika, and it's not like a groundbreaking thing that no one does. If you're into astrology, you're probably already doing this, but it's basically taking your natal chart and then applying the eclipse transits on top, and just looking at what is there that's harmonious and what's there that's discordant. So if we're talking about harmonious, are there any conjunctions or trines that are happening at the eclipse time, especially with the moon and the sun, but it can be any planets. Looking at which house the moon and the sun are in, but especially the moon in your chart, because that's the area of your life that's going to be the most activated. And then looking at those discordant aspects, which can be oppositions and squares, for instance, that are going to cause you some challenge, that might throw spanners at you that you have to deal with, that you're not going to be able to ignore. So it's you're either proactively being like, I'm ready to do this, show me what you got, or you're completely ignorant or resistant to it, and it's going to be all that harder for you to deal with. So there are sites you can do this for free on. Is it astro.com? Martika, what were we playing around with the transits this week? If you can help me out, I think it was astro.com where you can do that. So that's a good way not to be scared of the eclipse energy. All right. Let's get into this tarot. Oh, my music. Let's bring it back. Okay. We'll see if Bread's going to jump on the table. He's nearby looking a bit naughty. What? Astrodeist, thank you. Thank you, Martika. And tell me, guys, which crystals are you working with? I was called to work with some howlite today, which is not one of my usuals. But it's a pretty cool, marbly kind of rough piece that's this powerful, like a triangle shape. Anyway, so that howlite's going to be helping us out. All right, so let's call in the energy of all those who are watching, whether it's in real time or the replay, into this deck. And I ask my friend here, Ruby, to show us the wisdom we need to hear right now to help us navigate through this next eclipse and also through Taurus season. I'm going to be asking for the wisdom for our physical selves first today. So let's go. Alright, what is the highest wisdom? I want to also say, if you guys have your favorite astrologers that help you understand the energies, whether they're on YouTube, on Instagram, pop their names in the chat to help each other out. If we're seeking kind of more of an astrologer's, an actual astrologer's perspective on the eclipse energy. Here comes Bread. Okay, let's do this. What is the advice for our physical selves? Huh? It's the Tower reversed. Oh, okay. Heather says, Carrie Samuels. Cool. I haven't heard of her. I'll check her out. I've had my aventurine on me today. Oh, wonderful. Okay, our physical selves. We have the Tower reverse. This is a really big energy card. I think this looks like that Scorpio drain pipe, honestly. There's a really platonic energy here, this collapsing, this destruction, this, it's like when you have to demolish a building to build something new and updated and better and improved on that site. Pam Gregory, she's got some faves in this room, I think. So for our physical selves, I think we're being called to really blow up some bad habits, like really observing and feeling into what is self-sabotaging our physical health, because this is reversed. So we're ignoring it and we're allowing this destruction to happen instead of facing it and transforming it so that our terrains can be more healthy and vibrant. So that's the first thing I want to say. I want it, it's just, to me, I'm like, do a cleanse. So we could be leaning into Taurus season by just like really devoting ourselves to treating our bodies with beautiful, luscious vegetables and fruits from the earth. That's an amazing way to connect with the earth and earth energy. It's through our food. But I also think it's like, give me a minute. There's a lot that wants to be seen in this card. I think it's also on a physical level. It might not be that obvious, but there's a big transformation occurring in our consensus, our 3D consensus reality behind the scenes. And it seems like it could be quite shocking for us in our bodies. It's almost like even if these transformations are being hidden from us from an intellectual perspective, our bodies actually know the reality of what's happening, and it could be a potentially stressful time if we're doing all those destructive behaviors to ourselves and all this crazy transformation is happening cosmically. And I want to say in the 4D. So that's a pretty specific thing, but I keep looking at this like lightning bolt and crown. So systems of power, symbols of power are going through a destructive transformation. But it's our like actual physical selves that feels the impact of this. We compute it in our brains, but it's felt in our bodies. So either there's many of us that are resisting the actual reality of what's happening, we don't want to feel it and we just ignore it, or it's something that's being kept from us, but the reality is that our bodies are going to know what's going on. And the best way to navigate this time, it's a bit of a strange thing to say, but even if we're completely oblivious to what's happening in the 4D, where things are controlled, the thought realm's controlled, if we nurture ourselves with good food and good habits, and that really surrendering to the beauty and the pleasures of this life instead of getting caught up in news cycles and predictions of financial collapses and you know, any other like kind of not particularly constructive programs that are being fed to us, if we can just lean into beauty and nourishment, this will serve us so well, because our physical bodies really need that right now. So this could literally be like a cleanse, like a parasite cleanse, or a heavy metal detox, or a candida cleanse, but it could simply be just cleansing influences on your physicality that aren't particularly helpful or healthy. So this could be other consumption habits we have. It could be, you know, something as simple as not checking your phone until your eyes have really seen the light for the day, which is something I struggle with, but I'm going to really make an effort to do because my body needs it. So listen to your body as well. Because the other thing I'm seeing here is this height and like the structure of the tower. If we look at the way that it's shaped, it's almost like us, and we are the channels for this higher wisdom, and we need to keep ourselves strong and healthy so that we're not at threat of attack or destruction from outside forces, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna leave that one there. That was a pretty big energy. I wasn't expecting that, honestly. I was expecting beautiful, like abundant, luscious, fertile imagery of that card. Ooh, I see some comments here. Okay, so we've got Pamela Gregory for astrology from Kendra. Yep. Martika suggests Chris Brennan on the Astrology podcast. Grounded left brain approach, easy to integrate for those who appreciate it. Excellent. That's fitting. Been really feeling a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables after months of wanting nothing but beige cards. Yeah. And look, sometimes we are honoring our body when our body's asking for that because it wants to feel something different. But really listen to what your body wants. And sometimes if your body is self-sabotaging itself, like your taste buds are wanting a lot of sugar or fizzy drink or whatever, think about what the earth would give you. You know, if you went into the Garden of Eden, what would be offered to you there, and how delicious it would be. That's what we need to be treating ourselves with right now. Yes, cleanse, says Heather. Martika, your wisdom tooth flared up. Oh, that's right. And I hurt my tummy's Panadol. I hate when that happens. I took my wisdom tooth messages though, but ouch. So is it still hurting? And like, what was the wisdom coming through? If you don't mind sharing. Heather, I don't think my comment went through as I keep dropping signal. Alcohol detox, so much on social about toxicity of alcohol, how it lowers vibration. Yeah, look, I have had my own journey with that. I haven't had alcohol outside of the high proof vodka that goes, and grape brandy that goes into my tinctures in like 3 years or something now. And I don't miss it, but the lifestyle, it's like the lifestyle that you're giving up, kind of. And the cleanse your liver. That's really important. If you cleanse your liver, you cleanse your blood. Especially if you're someone who likes alcohol, do a liver cleanse, because the liver... Oh my gosh. A card jumped. Give me a second. Yeah, okay. Well, if anyone's thinking about giving up alcohol, this is a clear sign saying just let that shit go. Leave all those steins of beer behind you, even if it's just for this month, and go on a sober journey. Explore the different kinds of waters that are being shown in this card here. It's going to be a different journey than you're used to if you are someone who likes alcohol and hasn't taken a break. But the adventures you'll have will be very different to what you've been carrying. So yeah, that's an interesting card to have flown out. The wisdom was showing me about caring for the kids at home. When the tooth flare up, it shows me a virus in the house. Oh, so interesting. Very interesting. Emotional wants to come next. If you guys want to talk about alcohol and stuff in the initiates chat, like, open it up, because I think there's a lot of perspectives here, and sometimes the advice we can get can be very black and white, especially in a time like Taurus season when, you know, there's lots of cards in the tarot that will tell us about the grapes and the wine and the celebrations and all the rest, and that's a huge part of that sensory pleasure that we were just talking about surrendering to in the 3D. But I think there's also conscious awareness that we have to have, and we have to, I like to see it as conscious consumption. Like today I really wanted to taste a cookie, and I'm on generally a quite restrictive diet for my health, but I'm like, I'm gonna buy a cookie, and it'll be a gluten-free cookie, and I'm gonna like it. And the whole time I was eating it, I was like, I would much rather a big peach or something right now. So that was a good lesson for me. But it was also like, sometimes you know, you don't want to feel bad for having your desires, right? You don't want to always feel bad if I want something sweet, like, and I feel guilty about it or shameful that I'm not supposed to have it because it's bad for me. So it's like a really fine balance. Kendra, I haven't had any alcohol since December and I don't plan on going back. Why is that, Kendra? I'd love to hear from you what the reasons are that you don't care about going back to it. Kat, what are your thoughts on non-alcoholic beer, gin, etc.? I've obviously not been drinking for ages, but wondered if the non-alcoholic options had anything to be wary of. Look, just read the back, but the thing I'm wary of is how much they cost. Here, it's so expensive to get like an alcohol-free gin. It's like $50 for a bottle. And I'm just like, oh, just put some like juniper berries and rosemary in my soda water or my tonic water, you know? Yeah. And I probably would buy the gluten-free, oh, not gluten-free, alcohol-free beers, because there's heaps of them around and they're actually starting to taste quite nice, but there's not many that are also gluten-free, so I just haven't played in that space, and I'm kind of grateful for that because I've saved so much money not drinking, and I've gotten used to drinking very simple drinks that make me quite happy, and I don't want to break that like cool kind of benefit of the sacrifice I did with the booze. But that's just my personal. Good shout. We'll bring it up in the chat. Awesome. Yeah, let's expand on this in the initiates chat. I think you guys are all in the Initiates chat. If you're not, come join us. Check my links in my bio. We meet on Telegram and chat about all sorts of stuff in there. Martika, no alcohol is good. I'm indulging tonight on a holiday. Go for it. Have a lovely time. But I'm also technically recovering, and it was hard to stay mindful while I indulged, but I'm proud. Yeah, it's the conscious consumption. If it's out of balance, it's out of alignment, right? But every now and then it's nice to just like indulge your own desires and senses. Alcohol free is often more expensive than the real thing. I do miss the flavors though. Yeah, I think personally in my experience I haven't found anything that really matches the real flavors. So yeah, Kendra, it wasn't doing anything good for me and I would often overdo it. I feel so great without it. Yeah, totally relate to that. Martika enjoying the flavors there. Heather, I could feel my body pushing back on the alcohol and encouraging me not to have alcohol. I started having severe reactions from the smallest amount, which told me my body was going to keep making it hard for me to have it. Yeah, the body does that, doesn't it? It's so intelligent. Kat, you can also just explore, because I know with you it's like you know, you're after alcohol because you're nurturing your little one growing in you. So that's a good reason, but you gotta honor your cravings too, right? All right, emotional was next. Let's do it. Okay, show me the wisdom for our emotional bodies as we navigate this final eclipse and Taurus season. Show me that, guys. Okay. Right. So this is Seven of Wands reversed. So what I'm saying with these reversals is that the tarot and our like higher guidance here is asking us to like focus our intention, because if we don't do that, we might miss these lessons this month. They're coming through reverse, so that can indicate an energy blockage or some kind of program that's blocking us. But it can also just be that if we're not consciously casting our focus and intention and awareness onto these like lessons or challenges, we might not get the learning, we might not unlock the wisdom here. So this card for me is about boundaries, honoring our boundaries, because there's a lot of defensive energy here. And so sometimes that can be negative, and especially when it is appearing reversed, where we might be expending too much energy on defending ourselves. It's a bit dark there. This is what people do. You guys can see. So we've got this guy brandishing himself, like protecting himself with one of his wands, as faceless people, or it might even be nature below him, are kind of on the attack. He feels under attack. And this is energetic attack. We're talking wands here. So this is fire, this is will, this is spirit. So there's one thing we can do intentionally to help keep us feeling protected, and that is to honor our own boundaries, have an awareness of our boundaries, be really clear on what our boundaries are, and honor them and speak them and live them, and make sure others are aware of them, and also be aware of other people's boundaries and honor other people's boundaries too. Have respect for other people's boundaries, because as within, so without. But the other thing, I actually pulled this card for myself today, and it taught me a lesson that I haven't seen from this card before. This has to do with the number 7, which is a very spiritual number in the tarot, in the minor arcana. But it's also sometimes when we're in this state and we're feeling a little bit under attack, under energetic attack, under psychic attack even, we forget we're protected. We forget that the universe is protecting us, that our guides would never ever put us in a situation where something bad's going to happen to us, or a challenge that we can't handle, or sometimes that's our path and it's our challenge to kind of navigate through that. But generally, like, don't forget emotionally that you're protected. So if things start feeling a bit too much for you this month, it starts like impacting your spirit, your fire, you start feeling a bit burnt out, whatever it might be, you're giving a bit too much and other people are taking, just lean into the support of the universe, the support of your guides, your spirituality. This is what this is saying. This one single wand that you hold is actually your protection. Your spirituality is your protection. Your God is your protection. Your guides are your protection. Your spirit and soul tribe are your protection. We are here for you, protecting you. Whether that's a voice from here or that's me saying what all the people watching want to speak out loud to each other. So emotionally, don't forget that you're protected. And if things get emotionally hard, lean into that. Go outside and connect with a plant, connect with an animal, spend time with your pet, talk to someone who is on a similar journey, talk to your guides, ask for a message, do your meditation, do your ritual practices, whatever it is that helps you to feel balanced emotionally, or at least soothed, but not in a like self-care practices way. It's not about that. It's about your spirit kind of like holding you up right now, carrying you a bit, if emotionally things get a bit tough. Okay, is anyone encountering that kind of energy, emotional sort of overwhelm or overload, or feeling under attack, or like your boundaries are being infringed upon at the moment? Let me know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching the replay. Okay, Brad. All right. Yes, Heather, that resonates with you. Spiritual wants to come next. What is the message for our spirits? Show me the higher guidance to help our spirits navigate this time. What is the higher guidance for our spirits for this eclipse and Taurus season? Show me the higher guidance for the collective. Ooh, okay. When it jumps, I usually turn it upright unless it really wants to be seen reversed. Okay, so those of you having a bit of a hard time right now, especially emotionally hard, we've got the Three of Swords. And while Swords is an air sign, it's usually about the mental realm. This card is a lot to do with pain and heartache and suffering and tough times. Times that are hard on our hearts that we have to use our like mental fortitude to navigate. Because our brains are how we kind of compute our feelings and unpack our experiences. And so this is really using our minds if things are hard right now and there's emotional hurt happening or emotional challenge, just to know that it will pass, and use your fortitude, your mental fortitude, to remind yourself that suffering generally is temporary. Emotional hurt, emotional challenge is something that we come here to learn how to traverse through. We come here to experience this. We come here to experience what it is to have our hearts pierced. And this is the sacred heart. This is our divinity. This is our heart chakras. When we have suffered a pain that makes it hard to open our hearts, allow our words, our self-talk, and also how we speak to others to overcome that hurt we feel that might want to trigger our shadow selves, and take, I don't want to say take the higher path. That's it's a bit of a cop-out. I want to say use conscious intention about talking yourself through this stormy period, because what we see in this card is very strong, heavy rain coming from storm clouds as a backdrop to these three swords piercing this beautiful, divine heart. And storms in the tarot, while they really always signal some kind of challenge, they happen in the air. So it's like an air and water thing that's happening with these clouds and all this rain, that it's this dance between our emotion and our minds, or communication and our emotions. Often words are what trigger us to feel this kind of hurt and pain. But rain is cleansing and storms pass. So this is what we must anchor into, and this is a spiritual challenge. These are spiritual lessons. When we feel hurt, when we feel hard done by, when we feel like someone has dishonored us, dishonored our own divinity, dishonored our beautiful open-heartedness, in how they might speak to us or treat us, how they might play mind games with us as well. It's a spiritual challenge to use your thoughts and words to overcome that, and basically raise your frequency, raise your vibration, and take the lesson, the spiritual lesson of this experience. So even if you don't kind of come under some sort of heartbreak or emotional attack this month, it can even be seeing that happening with other people, or receiving their vibration of other people that might be going through this time, and choosing to not let that come into your field, allowing, like you'd watch a storm pass and you just witness it, and you witness it for what it is, instead of getting drawn into it like some big tornado or something. Just seeing if there's anything else. It's a very simple card. So yeah, I think that the main thing is that whatever's happening this month is going to shift. It's going to bring us some shadow work to do as well. That's going to be us mentally talking ourselves through situations that require us to maintain an open heart, no matter what, regardless. And the best way to do that, aside from our own vibrational field being driven in our actions from our heart center, is the words we use, and also the thoughts we think, because thoughts are real and thoughts create our reality. Okay. I want to say as well, the 3 just popped out as I was putting it down. 3 is a symbol of harmony. So through this experience, it's like a harmonizing of the field. That when things become out of balance, we have the opportunity, it's a karmic lesson for us to learn how we harmonize things when things are out of balance. Okay. Oh, I have some overwhelm here. That's not good, Cat. But it's temporary, as we just learned. Heather, Aaron just pulled a white tiger card for me yesterday, which is all about boundaries and protection. Yeah. So this is a theme that's popping up for us. Heather, it's raining on me right now. I'm going to take it as a cleanse from Mother Earth. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful rainbows. I love this. Okay, what's the last one? Mental. Interesting. We'll see what pops up after that. 3 of Swords. Mental. What is the... That was quick. The High Priestess. Ooh. Okay. There's some inner world feminine wisdom that we're going to be unlocking this month. This is, I think, going to be activated by the eclipse, the lunar eclipse, which is the High Priestess's domain. Yeah, so I kind of see her, she's sitting in the center of these two pillars, these 2 poles. She's centering herself in this axis of polarity, and she's kind of like the sacred holder of all that exists behind the veil. So Scorpio time, the veil is always a bit thinner, so that's good to know. So if there's wisdom that we want to be tapping into, now's a really good time to do it. And this is coming up for mental, so this actually is areas of study, rabbit holes you wish to go down. It might be actual intentional planning out and doing of ritual, using words and I don't want to say casting of spells, although that is something she would do, but almost writing your own spells. And that could be something that you could be doing for the eclipse around what it is you really wish to release, and have a deep cleanse of what do you want to send down that drain pipe, and it's not like you don't see it again, but you wish it well on its journey away from you. But yeah, it's almost like us sitting in the center point of this nodal axis, which is what the eclipse is kind of working with this eclipse season. It's just like us in the center of these nodal activations that are happening on the polar opposites of us. That's where we are, and we're here to learn. We're here to learn from this experience. We're here to learn from this energy. We're here to be activated by this energy. So there's initiations to take place right now. There's activating energy in the inner self, the inner journey. There's shadow work to be done, as we talked about before. I see her holding her scroll. So it's really about study and uncovering wisdom. This is not talking. I think it's a reading. I think it's, yes, listening, but reading's more important right now. So I just want to say that if there's an area of esoteric study you've been thinking about, now's a really good time to do it. Because you will be unlocking, you'll be initiating new wisdom in yourself to awaken, and you will be able to tap that wisdom for the rest of your life. So this is very powerful from a mental perspective. So I'm going to see if there's anything else here for us. Hey Lucinda, it's good to see you. Yeah, okay, that cross on her heart. So it's interesting. The cross in the circle is also the symbol of earth. And the fact that that sits on her heart, this cross, this equal cross, it's like the heart has come here to experience the full beauty of earth, and as long as we reject that, we're missing part of the incredible awakening that exists for us here. The awakening isn't all about ascending, and it's not all about galactic federations, and it's not all about our star lineages, because those things will exist for us always. In this incarnation, we are here to explore what it is to be a soul in a human body on earth. And while some of us might feel a little less natural in that meat body, in that suit, it's still what we're here to do. We came here for this, and we all came here for different reasons, on different missions. So it's good to be aware of what our missions are, and who in the upper realms, the higher realms, we can call on for guidance, which is something that the High Priestess is very well equipped at doing. But it's almost like what I want to say is that she understands that we entered through the heart portal to come into this planet, and that is the portal of ascendance, that is the portal of initiation, that is the portal of like manifestation, that's a portal of everything. Heather said hello, Bread. Oh, he's purring, he loves this message. My little alien. Yeah, very, very powerful. And she jumped out. So she really wants us all, so we're all women here today, so this goes for men and women, but especially for women who feel like they're on the edge of some kind of like transformative portal or initiation into the next phase of herself. We unlock that in our inner selves. Our inner wisdom guides us on that journey. So this month is a potent energy for us all to tap into. Whew. That's pretty cool. How are those cards sitting with you guys? Lucinda, that was our last card. Mentor was the last card for today. However, I will post this in the replay so that you can watch the beginning. If there's any reflections or thoughts about this, Bread's hair is flying all over the place like little snowflakes. I feel like this was all meant for me. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. And I do want to say, Lucinda, you've missed these. That's really sweet and awesome because I've actually missed them too. I was finding the fortnightly moon cycle events kind of a bit overwhelming from a frequency perspective. Sometimes it's hard to like have the up energy to carry the collective like that frequently in like this kind of way. For me, some people might be much better at than I, but I really take that responsibility seriously to come into these live streams with a level of energy that holds the divinity and preciousness of our collective and our collective frequency. However, once a month feels like it's too long, so I think I'm going to be also adding in, I do like actually having my own time to do my new moon and full moon ceremony. So I think I'm going to stick to once a month for sun season, but I think I'll also do just a random, when I feel the energy is good, a random live stream and come on with you guys just to hang out and pull cards and just see what comes up. So spiritual chats or whatever it is, little tarot parties. So I think that's going to happen twice a month. We'll be doing these again, which will be really good because I really do love communing with you all more frequently. I really do miss that bit. Last card really resonated. Looking forward to the replay. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. The High Priestess card too for the mental realm. That's really exciting. Really exciting. I think it also means there's this is a cool message as well. We're moving into this opportunity. This portal is going to be open for us this month. Opened by our Great Mother during Taurus sun season for these amazing initiated feminine wisdom holders to actually be given a platform, to be stepping into more leadership, to be granted or command more authority in our collective, which I think is needed and interesting. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting that the times are changing and we have a role to play in shaping, crafting this field, and evolving this field, which is really cool. I'm just going to check my notes. Oh, so for those who haven't seen my feed, because I don't really post that much, I need to get better at that. I have launched some tarot training. This is one-on-one training with me that runs for 6 sessions. Ideally it's 6 weeks, but it can actually be whatever frequency you wish if you are interested in learning tarot with me. It's a completely tailored training, so it is beginner level. So I'm basically taking you through the foundational systems of tarot, all the most important systems. And when I was putting this training together, that was the best way to kind of describe all these different aspects of tarot that I'm teaching. There are so many systems of tarot that you can learn, and I believe this is a lifelong journey. We don't have to unlock them all or master them all in one go. So these systems that I'm going to be teaching in this beginner training are basically the most important foundational systems I believe we need to set up our own intuitive tarot practice and not rely on textbooks to interpret the meanings of the cards. So this is going to be helping you awaken your own personal methods, your own personal relationship with the symbols of the cards and these systems of the cards. And it goes beyond tarot, because the way I see the world, my understanding of tarot and my initiation into the wisdom of tarot has shaped how I see the world completely. And that's what I hope to share with others as well, that this incredible, rich, esoteric, symbolic wisdom language, I can pass on my systems of how to read it so that you can do it on your own and in your own way, in your own style, in the ways that interest you, because there's so many different interests that we can explore in tarot as well. So it's completely tailored, and basically I'm going to be initiating you into some of this tarot wisdom if you come on the journey with me. So yeah, if this sounds interesting to you, I've got a link in my profile. Head on over there and you can see all the information about the tarot training, what we will be covering, all the details, how much it costs, all of that stuff. Lucinda, last card really resonated. Looking forward to the replay. Yes, me too. Congratulations. Oh, thank you so much. It has been a long time coming, but I really lent into the Aries energy to get some shit done. So yeah, I'm super excited to be doing that. And what comes after beginner training is intermediate training, which is all about really going deep into the symbolic languages, those different symbolic systems of tarot beyond those foundational systems. So there's a lot to unravel and share in my teachings, and I'm so excited to start going on this journey with people. It's really beautiful. I'm really enjoying teaching and watching students blossom. It's wonderful. So that's what's happening in my camp. I hope you guys are all having a really wonderful Taurus season so far, that you've been finding the eclipse energies both challenging in a positive way and also activating transformation in you as well. I look forward to joining you again in a couple of weeks' time, probably 2 to 3 weeks, for a little tarot party. And yeah, if you've just joined, we're finishing up now, but I will be I'll be posting the replay onto my profile. So if you want to check out the 4 cards for this month for tarot, for Taurus season, check out my feed and you can watch the replay there. And if you want to keep the conversation going, join us on Telegram. My podcast is on a little bit of a break, but I'm rebooting it to have more interviews and stuff. Hopefully it's going to come back this week or the next week. Life's been very busy in the 3D for me recently with lots of responsibilities. So unfortunately it wasn't my priority, but it is again now. So I'm really excited to reboot that. However, the conversation's always going in the initiates chat on Telegram. So if you'd like to join us, send me a message or go to my profile, my link in my bio, and you can find the button to join there. Thanks, Lucinda. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, everyone who's still with me. Thanks for joining in on this wonderful live stream tonight. Let me know in the comments if you have any feedback or thoughts, how these messages resonate. And until next time, blessings.